방송이 함께합니다.
We are the Zero Waste Rangers.
To save Mother Earth, just remember the 5 R's. Would you like a bag for that?
No thanks. I brought my own bag. Number 1, refuse. Just say no to things you do not need.
This shirt is so out of style.
Why not take it to a flea market? Number 2, reduce. Buy only what you need and share with your neighbors.
1 iced Americano coming right up.
Can I get that in my tumbler? Number 3, reuse. Single use, that's not how we do things.
This is such a hassle. Let's just throw it all in together.
You've got to peel off the labels and rinse them out. Number 4, recycle. Rinse it, peel it, and recycle properly.
This looks different from other sponges.
It's a biodegradable loofah. Number 5, rot. Choose a product that returns to nature.
Refuse, reduce,
Reuse, recycle,
and rot. The 5R pledge to protect our planet.
Today we bring to you a report on what to do in case of heavy rain. There's nothing like preparation when it comes to torrential downpour. Isn't that right?
That's right. You must turn off your gas and electricity and quickly evacuate from areas vulnerable to flash flooding.
What should we do if we are already outside?
Evacuate to a safe place, away from construction sites, underground spaces, and areas prone to frequent flooding. If you're driving, do not stop the car. Instead, slowly drive through the flooded area without stopping.
What should we do once the rain stops?
When going into buildings that have been submerged, do not touch electrical facilities and make sure to ventilate, as there is a risk of gas leakage.
We should also reduce preventable damages and prepare for disasters ahead of time by following safety guidelines.
That is correct. You can receive real-time safety information through the Disaster Safety Information mobile app, 안전디딤돌.
Thank you for all the great information. Remember, your safety is everyone's safety. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산 영어방송.
안녕하세요. 셰프 에드워드 리입니다. 빨리빨리. 한국 사람들은 이 말을 입에 달고 살더군요. 하지만 바쁜 걸음을 멈추는 모습에 놀랐습니다.
제가 들어드릴게요.
여기 앉으세요.
May I help you?
모르는 사람끼리 서로 존중하고 배려하는 모습을 보며 이게 대한민국이구나 생각했습니다. 가장 빠른 나라 대한민국에는 가장 따뜻한 멈춤이 있습니다. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
The biggest domestic news this morning is the 서소문 overpass collapse. 서소문 고가붕괴 story 이야기입니다. It happened yesterday afternoon. 3 people were killed and 3 others injured after part of the 서소문 overpass collapsed during demolition work in Seoul. The tragedy unfolded as workers were in the process of cutting concrete slabs at the demolition site of the decades-old overpass. So apparently, reports say workers, they reported a subsidence gap or 단차 early in the morning, and then they halted work. And engineers were on site carrying out a safety assessment, and that's when part of that overpass collapsed. And that is perhaps the most painful irony behind this tragedy, that they were checking safety when this tragedy occurred. And of course, our thoughts and prayers are with the family members of those who were tragically and they suddenly lost their lives yesterday. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Wednesday, May 27th on BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. I wish I could start with some really happy, good news, but of course, that is the biggest story this morning as it unfolded yesterday afternoon. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what we do here on this program, Morning Wave in Busan. We're going to be covering that story, plus much more throughout the next 2 hours. And our text topic, though, this is in line with what we're talking about in hour number 2. So bear with me. Let's change the mood a little bit, okay? So I know it's raining. I know we have that other story. We're going to cover that soon. But for now, here we go. What sport do you want to learn or pick up? 자, 내가 배워보고 싶은 운동은? And once again, this is very much related to our segment coming up in hour number 2, Food for Thought with Haley and Leon. Hence, we have this text topic for you. So what sport do you want to learn or pick up? 내가 배워보고 싶은 운동은? Maybe you've had your eye on it for a while. Or maybe it's just like kind of in fantasy la la land. Like, oh, I so want to do this even though I know I can't. Like for me, I've gone to check out 2 kickboxing studios, gyms. And then I always go, I listen to the sales pitch, and then I say, 네, 생각해보겠습니다. And then I just don't have the courage to start because I know it's just going to be lots of pain, lots of sweat, and then the whole thought of me giving up. Ooh, so anyhow, I want to hear all about the sports that you want to pick up. Send them into BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM, 부산 영어 방송, to find our channel. And then you can subscribe, log in, and chat with our other waivers from your phone. Pound 9050 shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free on Kakao Talk as well. So find us first. Search for BEFM or 부산 영어 방송. Once you find our account, add us as a friend, and then you can send in your messages, photos as well. The ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. That's on the radio if you're in Busan. We're streaming live right now on YouTube. And you can check us out through the BEFM app or Patbang app as well. So here's a lineup for this Wednesday. Oh, it's already Wednesday. It's hump day. So we have Jian for now in Busan. We have Haley with top stories. That's in hour number 1. For hour number 2, we have Work Smart, Live Smarter with Jennifer. And then, like I said, Food for Thought with Haley and Leon. They're both coming in hour number 2. For our special interview, we're going to be talking about NATO. Is NATO at a turning point is the big question because we have Europe obviously heavily involved. And then with the changing dynamics and the role of the United States, we're going to talk about that with our expert that's coming up in hour number 2. For now, we're going to say hello to Jian. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good,
it's
good.
rainy, though.
I know. I hope, by the way, everybody, if you need to go anywhere, go to work, leave a little early. Because the weather, it is raining right now.
Yes.
All right, so text topic time. I know that you're very active, you're athletic, but is there like a sport that you've always wanted to do, that you've wanted to pick up?
Yes, there's something that I haven't tried yet, which is taekyon.
Oh.
Have you heard of taekyon?
I have, but can you explain it for those of our listeners who've never heard of this?
So taekyon is a little different type of like taekwondo. But the kick is so cool.
Yes.
It's a little different, but more flexible, more smooth,
okay.
but somehow still very powerful. Yes.
So I'm very, why taekyon?
The way how they kick and how they fight each other looks just beautiful.
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 Fighting can be beautiful.
Artistic, yes.
Yes.
Wish I could learn taekyon before it's too late.
Okay. Well, I can totally see you doing it.
Oh, maybe this year. I should try it.
Your short-term goal because it's already end of May.
I know.
Get right on it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to jump into some local news. Busan is stepping up its heat wave response ahead of what could be another intense summer.
Right.
So what's happening?
Yes, Busan City held a special emergency response meeting to check how its heat wave safety measures are shaping up. They began their summer heat response period on May 15th, and the system will stay in place through September.
Yes. So why the extra focus this year?
Well, this summer comes with some major weather system changes. For the first time, the Korea Meteorological Administration is expanding its heat wave alert system from 2 stages to 3, adding a new serious heat wave warning level.
Okay.
A tropical night advisory system is also being introduced, so the city is adjusting its response plans to match.
Yes. So what kinds of measures are being strengthened?
The city is focusing on 4 main areas. Tighter emergency management, better protection for vulnerable residents, more cooling spaces, and stronger safety checks for outdoor events and festivals. A lot of the effort is about checking in on people who are most at risk and making sure prevention guidelines are reaching outdoor workplaces where heat-related illness can become serious.
Indeed. So preventive measures are the best measures, as they say. So thanks for going over this. And so speaking of the heat, Busan's also getting ready for beach season with all of its major beaches set to open next month. And that's right around the corner.
Yes.
So.
Busan City held its annual beach operations briefing to go over preparations for the 2026 summer season. Haeundae and Songjeong beaches will open first on June 26th, and then the rest, including Songdo, Gwanghwanli, both sides of Dadepo, Ilgwang, and Imlang, will officially open on July 1st.
Yes, with so many visitors expected, safety, I'm sure, is the top priority.
Yes, it definitely is. Busan's beaches welcomed nearly 22 million visitors last year, so the city is strengthening safety measures across the board. Before opening, each beach will go through a full risk assessment. Based on those results, swimming zones and marine leisure activity zones will be clearly separated, and safety staff will be assigned depending on expected crowd size.
I see. So what kind of on-site protection will people actually see?
At major beaches, the city is installing jellyfish prevention nets and other protective systems to block harmful marine life.
Yes.
There will also be a joint emergency response network involving 119 citizen lifeguards, private rescue teams, and the Coast Guard.
All right. So I'm sure lots of people actually sent in photos over the past few years of the jellyfish. So I'm sure people will be happy to hear about the prevention nets. All right. Next up, Busan is launching a new AI chatbot service. So what is this about?
Yes, Busan City is launching a new smart chatbot service called AI Bugi News. It's a big upgrade from the city's old text-based policy chatbot. This new version uses AI-powered voice interaction and 3D character technology, so people can actually have real-time conversations with Busan's mascot character, Bugi.
Love the idea because, of course, Poogie is such a superstar. Well, how will people use it?
It's designed to feel much more natural. So instead of typing in keywords, users can just ask questions like, what events are happening this weekend? And then Poogie responds directly with the information they're looking for.
Okay, well, it does sound a lot more interactive than like a typical chatbot.
It is, yes. Poogie also appears on screen as a full 3D digital character, and it reacts with different facial expressions and movements depending on the conversation. So it feels less like searching a database and more like actually talking with a virtual guide.
Yes, yes. And Busan also mentioned something unique about the way, I guess, it speaks.
Yes, that's right. The service includes Busan dialect-based voice interaction, which will make it familiar and friendly for local residents. At the same time, visitors will get a fun way to experience a little bit of Busan's local culture through the conversation itself.
Wow. So we have Boogie plus the Busan dialect.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Can't wait to see it. All right, let's move on and talk about this. Busan is set to host one of its most unique international sporting events this week. So what's happening in Gwangalli?
That's right. The 2026 Busan International Pole Vault Competition will take place this Saturday on the 30th at Gwangalli Beach Park. It's actually Korea's first and only international track and field event dedicated to a single discipline, and it's officially approved by the AAA, Asian Athletics Association.
I see. So, that makes a pretty special event for the city, right?
Yes, it really does. With Gwangalli's shoreline and the Gwangan Bridge as the backdrop, some of the world's top pole vaulters will be competing while literally pushing their limits above the beach.
Oh, I love that. Above the beach, literally. So when can people catch the competition?
The opening ceremony starts at 7 p.m. this Friday on May 29th. Then the women's competition begins at 4 p.m. on Saturday, May 30th, followed by men's event. The event is completely free and open to everyone, so people can just head to Gwangalli and watch the competition.
Yes. So go check it out, the pole vault competition at Gwangalli.
Definitely.
Yes, next up we have Busan진구 district giving young people a chance to become real media creators. So what's this one about?
Yes, Busan진gu district is recruiting teams for a new youth-led media project called Youth-Friendly City on Air. It's part of Korea's first ever youth-friendly city initiative, and it's being run in collaboration with BFM. Selected teams will plan and produce their own stories about things like youth policies, local businesses, regional culture, and everyday life in Busan, all from a young person's perspective.
Yes. Will they get professional training for this?
Yes, they will. Participants will receive hands-on training from broadcasting professionals here from BFM.
Yes.
They'll also receive team-based coaching while producing radio and video content.
Yes, indeed. And where will people be able to hear their work?
The finished programs will be released during Youth Day celebrations in September. They'll be broadcast on BFM and shared through YouTube as well.
And who can apply for this?
Young people between 18 and 39 who either live in or actively work in Busan can apply for this program.
Okay.
Applications have to be submitted as teams of 3 to 5 people, and 4 teams will be selected through document screening and interviews.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for all of the local news. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Jian.
Thank you.
All right. I'll be back with your traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic report. First up, let's talk about Bunyeongno. It is partially closed coming into the city right past the Munhyun ramp due to an accident. There is severe backup in this area, so you might want to take a detour around. Next up, there's also congestion on the Dongso overpass from Bunyeongno ramp to Kaegum. It's backed up on Nakdong-Namno from Gangsa Police Station to Seongsan three-way intersection. And the top portion of the Gwangan Bridge is looking slow right now. And obviously, it is raining. Currently, 20 degrees here in Busan. The daytime high will go up to 22. The rain is forecast to stop by this evening. Across the nation, it is raining on and off this morning, with the southern coast and Jeju having seen heavy rain overnight. So please be careful of slippery roads and risks of landslides. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for the morning brief. 3 dead, 3 others injured in overpass collapse. The Seosomun overpass in Western Seoul collapsed yesterday while undergoing removal, killing 3 and injuring 3 others, according to officials. Government presents blueprint for nuclear-powered submarine. South Korea announced plans for the Changbogo nuclear N project to develop domestically built nuclear-powered attack submarines filled by low-enriched uranium and plans to launch the first vessel in the mid-2030s. North Korea fires missiles and artillery rockets toward Yellow Sea. North Korea announced that it test-fired tactical ballistic missiles, multiple rocket launchers, and cruise missiles yesterday in what appeared to be a rare launch of a mix of such weapons. Kospi ends the day above 8,000 points for first time. South Korean stocks pulled off a new record high, having gained 2.55% to close at a record 8,047.51 points, marking the first time that the benchmark index closed above the 8,000 point level. Trump to convene cabinet at Camp David as both sides mull ceasefire. President Donald Trump and his entire cabinet will meet at Camp David on Wednesday local time after new U.S. strikes at Iran raised concerns about an anticipated peace deal. This was the Morning Brief. You're listening to hour number 1 of Morning Wave in Busan. Haley joins us right now for top stories. Let's turn to her. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to jump right into the top story. We have to go over what happened in the Seosomun overpass collapse.
Right. So as you said, 3 people died and 3 others were injured after an overpass in Seodaemungu district in Seoul collapsed yesterday. The deceased are an on-site manager of the contractor Hunghwa Construction in his 60s, a supervisor also in his 60s, and a structural technician who was an outside expert in his 50s.
Right, so we do need to go over once again this tragedy, how the accident unfolded.
Right, so the workers are conducting safety inspection because a 2.9 centimeter ground subsidy, so a bit of a ground sinking, a foundation sinking activity was found early yesterday morning.
Right.
So, and this happened while the workers are cutting off the concrete slab of the overpass as a part of the demolition. At that point, the work stopped and the safety inspection started. But what's called the girder, this is the horizontal beam that holds up the structure, that seems to have collapsed while the supervisors and safety inspectors were on site. And the victims either fell down from the girder or were hit by the collapsed debris.
I see. So what can you tell us about the structure itself?
It is an old structure built back in 1966. This 335-meter portion was determined to have safety flaws and actually received a level D safety assessment. And this took place after some concrete pieces fell down onto the road back in 2019. So after attempts to fix it up, the city actually decided to demolish the structure, and that demolition was due to be completed in July.
Yes, and what do we know about the cause of the accident itself?
Of course, that will have to be determined at a later date, and the Seoul Metropolitan Police has formed a 50-person dedicated team. An official investigation and the results are, of course, pending. But experts, from what they've heard, what they've seen, a preliminary viewpoint, they point to a possibility of a human-caused disaster.
Indeed. So that is what they're looking at as one possibility. What makes them say this, though?
Right, because one expert says that demolition, 철거, is a fairly simple procedure that you just have to follow the previously determined steps.
Yes.
So they say this accident may have been due to a lack of caution, failure to follow safety regulations, and or rushing, having hastily pushed on with the construction to maybe cut costs.
Well, I hear that there were also train cancellations and changes.
Right, because this was not over a train, but the accident caused power outages on the tracks.
Right.
So for the KTX train, the Seoul to Hangshin Station train will not be operating. For the regular train Seoul to Susek portion, canceled through today because according to Korail, the repairs are expected to take some time.
Yes.
For the KTX train, the Gyeongbu and Honam lines, they will only run between Seoul Station to Busan Station and from Yongsan to Mokpo Yeosu Expo Station.
Right.
As for the Gangneung Jungang line, it'll only go from Cheongnam-ri to Gangneung and from Cheongnam-ri to Busan Station. However, even if these do cover the destination that you are going to, do expect delays because the train will stop temporarily at all stations that are not usually KTX stations. And of course, schedules and destinations can change. So before you go, please check the KTX mobile app, the Korail Talk, the website, or should you need it, you can call them 1588-7788.
Well, thank you for giving a heads up on the transportation issues. All right, putting that story aside for now, we're going to get to another big story that's been brewing over the past several days. This public apology by 신세계 chairman 정용진 over the whole Starbucks Tank Day issue.
Right, so 정용진 bowed his head in apology to the public for the controversial Tank Day promotion that was dropped on May 18th, the anniversary of a bloody democratic uprising and the crackdown in Gwangju.
Right.
So Chong said that regardless of the reason this event hurt the people, no excuses and all responsibilities fall upon himself. And this is the first time that 정용진 made an apology since taking office as chairman of 신세계그룹. The 5-minute apology also called on the company to try to move forward, to lower themselves, to humble themselves, and to learn from the experience, take responsibility to leave a better world for the future generation.
The group also announced the results of the company's internal probe into what happened.
Right. So the company said that it found no evidence that the Tank Day promotion was intentionally planned based on its own audit. The investigation focused on whether that event was planned with a specific intention.
Yes, and how extensive was the investigation?
Well, because it's the company. They're not the
Right.
law enforcement. So apparently there were 5 employees who were directly involved in the marketing event. 2 voluntarily submitted their phones for investigation. But
Okay.
3, including the employee who actually suggested the name Tank Day, refused to do so, citing violation of privacy. And the company said that the manufacturer of the tumblers, they were based in Taiwan, and they're the ones who proposed the name of the tumbler, tank tumbler, based on a water tank.
Well, another question that many had asked is why is no one in the corporate chain, why no one had raised this, a red flag, basically?
Right, because fine, Taiwan, the company created the name Tank, but did nobody in the corporate chain of
caught
command, May 18th, and tanks. So it went up the usual corporate structure, the team leader, the
Okay.
executive manager, and even the CEO, and many in between. But apparently, no one raised the issue with Tank Day. And there were cases that someone or someones, they signed off on this without even opening the attached file in the document. So
Oh.
maybe they didn't know.
Because
Not
they
an
didn't
excuse,
open.
because they didn't look at it. That 책상에 탁 byline was also, it was not a part of the promotion that was put up for approval. And the person who created it said they were just rhyming it with the previous, like 가방에 쏙 byline.
Yes.
So Vice President of 신세계 전상진 said, beyond the fault of those directly involved, this case showed that Starbucks Korea is perhaps lacking in social and historical sensitivity internally, as well as a serious flaw in the marketing verification and its risk management system.
By the way, this is, of course, the company's own findings.
Right. Again, the law enforcement, the police are investigating, the case against the suits filed against the 신세계 chair and the former CEO.
Yes.
The executive said that the company will fully cooperate with the police investigation, and if it is found during that investigation any of the employees or executives had ulterior motive, intention, they will be immediately not only fired, but criminal and civil charges will be pressed.
Yes, so that's one side of the issue. But the May 18th organizations, they did not accept this apology.
They did not. The organizations associated with the victims and the families of the uprising all refused the apology, saying that it was insincere. They stated that the corporation lacked the basic responsibility or respect for history, and that the apology also lacked how the company was going to take responsibility while shifting blame onto specific employees.
Yes, and the company is also offering full refunds on the balance on Starbucks prepaid cards.
Right, so that's been kind of an issue of controversy online amongst users who are calling for boycott. So far, the rule is that if you have a prepaid card linked to your account,
Yes.
you have to spend at least 60% of the money to get a refund. But from June 1st, for 2 weeks, users will be able to get a full refund regardless of the money spent.
Okay.
And that is an exception upon this controversy. But do keep in mind that this is not for the gift cons, like not the gift certificates, but what you have loaded onto your mobile app.
Okay.
And you can request a refund via the same app. The money will go to a designated bank account. If you have one of those physical cards, you can bring it into a Starbucks location for a full refund.
I see. Thanks for giving us the latest on that story. All right, so moving on. We are in week 2 of signups for the high fuel price subsidies, but a lot of people are still disgruntled.
Right, so we're in week 2 of the high fuel price subsidies, and now registration is open for anyone regardless of the birth year. But controversy continues over the eligibility of this bottom 70% of income groups, and the threshold being based specifically on one's March health insurance system.
So what are some of the specific issues?
March is when some people get bonuses. Yeah, so let's look at military personnel. So non-conscript career soldiers, their bonuses or incentives in lump sum for the entire year given out in March. So that was reflected onto their health insurance payment. So all of a sudden, they weren't in the bottom 70% anymore.
Sure.
So upon the controversy, the Defense Ministry will recalculate the health insurance payment and reopen applications for the subsidies starting June 1st.
Okay.
Another issue is with the payments being calculated on households. So, for example, younger people who are dependents on their parents' health insurance, so they feel like their individually relatively small income kind of unfairly gets lumped in with their parents' larger income, thus putting them in that top 30%. Of course, objection lodging period is still open.
I see. And how many people have signed up for the subsidies so far?
82% as of day 8. That's according to the Interior Ministry yesterday. So their data released yesterday from midnight Monday. 29.86 million people have signed up for the subsidies, and a total of 5.3 trillion won's been given out. Sejong had the highest rate at 87%, followed by Incheon, Daejeon, and Daegu. Jeju did have the lowest rate nationwide at 80%.
I see. Well, thanks for giving us the latest on that story. Up next, we're going to talk about AI and semiconductors, but not from a technical perspective.
An environment and maybe resources perspective.
Okay.
Water.
Oh.
H2O, agua, because the AI boom is putting semiconductors in this super cycle, and with this, water has become a key resource.
Yes.
So Korea Water Resources Corporation, or K-Water, released its water and world focus based on an in-depth analysis of reports by the World Bank and other international organizations.
Sure.
Basically, water demand spiking due to AI. And the World Bank recently used this term, the carbon footprint, referring to how much carbon emission a company, individual produces, AI water footprint to describe the demand.
Okay, so we have a new term now. So how big is this so-called AI water footprint?
Right, so according to Global Water Intelligence, they estimated for every 30 minutes usage of generative AI. So I think our listeners can pretty much identify with it. Half an hour.
Sure.
You use 660 milliliters of water. So that's like a full bottle of drinking water and then some.
Yes.
Right. So by 2027, the global AI water demand will come to 6 times the water intake of the entire country of Denmark.
Oh my goodness.
6 times, not just Denmark, 6 of Denmark's.
Okay.
And 34% of data centers are unfortunately located in areas of water shortages.
Yes, indeed. And in that vein, an unlikely figure recently made a public remark about AI.
The Pope.
Himself,
Pope Leo XIV, the head of the Catholic Church, presented what's called the first encyclical. So it's essentially a very official letter written by the Pope directed to the entire church. And this is his very first encyclical, making it symbolic. This was titled Magnificent Humanity. Pretty momentous milestone to begin with, and very notable of this topic being AI.
Yes, and what exactly did the Pope say?
It was a warning. He alluded to AI being a weapon, something that should be disarmed.
Yes.
Warning it could deepen global conflicts, dehumanize society, and calling for broader regulations with diverse voices shaping the development. Leo also denounced how AI has helped to accelerate this normalization of war by desensitizing people to the human cost.
I see.
Pope Leo appealed to AI developers and political leaders who are responsible for regulating the technology to slow down and reflect what's been going on.
Interesting. The Pope has spoken. All right, moving on. We need some updates on what's happening with the U.S. and Iran negotiations.
Right. So we are kind of in limbo once again. The proposed peace agreement between the U.S. and Iran, they are remaining. It hasn't been broken, but there have been U.S. bombings of Iranian targets. And
Okay.
that would be the first military action by Washington since the April 8th ceasefire. So let's go over what happened in terms of this action. The U.S. Military Central Command, or CENTCOM, said that its forces carried out strikes on southern Iran in self-defense, claiming that Iranian forces were laying down ocean or maritime mines.
Sure.
CENTCOM also said that U.S. Navy has quietly resumed the so-called Project Freedom and in the Strait of Hormuz and quietly guided a Greek supertanker out of the waterway.
I see. Well, let's talk about Iran. What has Iran said about the attack?
The timing was interesting because it took place as Iranian negotiators were landing in Qatar for mediated talks. So Tehran denounced the attack as an act of bad faith and a violation of the ceasefire, but these mediated talks are still ongoing.
Well, I hear the sticking point so far, once again, is Iran's nuclear program, including its stockpile of enriched uranium.
Right, so to that end, U.S. President Donald Trump said that the enriched uranium held by Iran could be destroyed inside the country or another location in a process that would be overseen by the International Nuclear Agency.
Okay.
And this is important because it is a major concession from the U.S. president, according to experts.
Okay, that's the USA. What about Iran's position?
Because Iran has been okay. Previously, they said they were fine with blending down the stockpiles of enriched uranium. So Iran is known to possess 60% enriched uranium. This is closer to the 90% that's needed for weapons-grade material.
Right.
But the line has been where? Because Iran has drawn the line at moving the uranium to either the U.S. or Russia. So this concession by Trump to let them blend it down either within Iran or a friendlier country could be a big change.
I see. Another sticking point seems to be Israel, though.
Right, and they are not budging. Israel and Lebanon aspect of the war because the U.S. brokered ceasefire is in effect, but only name only. And some experts have said that the fire has actually never ceased. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that his country is actually now intensifying these military operations.
Yes, yes. Well, that's the latest on what's happening there. And now we're going to end this segment on a happy note. Good news from the American Music Awards, AMAs.
Right, so a musical note, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
BTS again won Artist of the Year. That's the top award at the American Music Awards, or the AMAs. So the AMAs is one of the three major American music awards, and BTS beat out the list, Bad Bunny,
Oh,
Bruno Mars, Taylor Swift, and Lady Gaga.
Wow.
For their second Artist of the Year award,
Yes.
first having been back in 2021. And this, of course, momentous for the group and the fans because this is their big return after that, what was it, the 4-year hiatus for the
Yes.
members to go on military service.
that's right. And K-pop Demon Hunter is once again adding another trophy to their collection.
Golden Song of the Year. So if you look at it,
Yes.
it just hit me. Artist of the Year and Song of the Year, the
Right.
two major awards. K-pop or K-pop adjacent. Again, beating out Taylor Swift's The Fate of Ophelia, Alex Warren's Ordinary, and Morgan Wallen's I'm the Problem.
Yes.
And according to Ise, who wrote the song and one of the performers, she said this song and film gained immense strength thanks to the fans and that we closed the chaos or 혼문.
Oh, I like. Well, thank you so much for going over all the top stories. We'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, we are going to take a song break. Well, of course, we got to go with BTS. Life Goes On.
세상이 멈춰서 아무런 예고도 하나 없이 꿈은 기다림을 몰라서 눈치 없이 와버렸어 자국이 지워진 거리 여기 멈춰 있는 나 혼자 가는 시간이 미안해 말도 없이
오늘도 비가 내릴 것 같아 흠뻑 젖어버렸네 아직도 멈추질 않아 저 먹구름보다 빨리 달려가 그럼 될 줄 알았는데 나 겨우 사람인가 봐 몹시 아프네 세상이란 놈이 지갑기 덕분에 눌러보는 먼지 쌓인 되감기 넘어진 채 청하는 엇박자의 춤 겨울이 오면 내 시야 더 뜨거운 숨
끝이 보이지 않아 출구가 있긴 할까 발이 뜨지 잘 않아 세상이 다 변했대 다행히도 우리 사이는 아직 여태 안 변했네 늘 하던 시작과 끝 안녕이란 말로 오늘과 내일을 또 함께 이어보자고 멈춰있지 마 어둠에 숨지 마 빛은 또 떠오르니까 끝이 보이지 않아 출구가 있긴 할까 발이 뜨지지 않아 잠시 두 눈을 감아 여기 내 손을 잡아줘 미래로 달아나자 Like an echo in the forest 하루가 돌아오겠지 아무 일도 없단 듯이 Yeah, like a song Like an arrow in the blue sky 또 하루 또 날아가지 On my pillow, on my table Yeah, like a song like this again I remember Yeah, 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 yeah I remember I remember Yeah, 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 yeah I remember
Korea Broadcast Advertising Corporation, known as KBACO, supports TV advertisement production for innovative small and medium-sized enterprises, and you can get up to 45 million won. Apply until June 1st, 6 p.m. Please visit the KBACO website for more details.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to turn to Jennifer for Work Smart, Live Smart. Let's say hello to her. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it still raining hard or is it drizzling?
Just the drizzle. Like,
Okay.
yeah, but then who knows? Like, weather changes. So,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
happy to be here on this beautiful wet Wednesday.
Yes, are you really, though? Our question, though, for you today, text topic time. What sport do you want to learn, Jennifer?
Swimming. I made several attempts.
Oh, attempts. I love, yes.
Yeah, but I never made it. So because I have a fear against water, deep
You have a
water.
fear of water?
Yeah.
Did something happen when you were younger or you just never liked
No,
water?
I never liked water that much.
So if you're in a swimming pool, let's say with your, hubby and daughter, like, do you just like go in
Yeah, I
shallow end?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. Yeah.
Oh, fighting.
So I feel like it's such a waste of money when I book a nice hotel. I can't really enjoy all the amenities there.
There's much to enjoy. You can sunbathe.
Yeah.
You can wade into the kiddie pool. You can go waist deep.
Yeah.
But I understand. Yeah, swimming these days is such a thing. So
it's essential.
yes. All right. Well, thanks for sharing. We're going to dive into Work Smart, Live Smart. What do you have for us?
Okay. So before we dive into the main topic today, let me ask you a quick question.
Sure.
If you are an office worker and notice the coworker leaving their desk 5-6 times a day for for about 15 minutes each time.
Each time?
Just to grab a coffee or stare out the window, daydream. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Oh, this is going to make me sound like a conde, but I will be wondering. I shall be wondering, like, for number one, like if it's like a daily thing, I might be wondering, like, I wonder what they're thinking. Why are they doing that? Or like, where are they going for those 15 minutes?
Yeah.
What are they doing? I have so
I
many
would be
questions.
so curious, like where they are heading.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, where do you disappear to for like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
That's like a quarter of an hour. Right.
And 5 times a day. That's
and
a
that
lot,
adds
right?
up. Like even if you go 4 times, that's like
That's
an
hour.
Hour
Yeah,
and 15
exactly.
minutes 5 times.
Yeah. There's a lot of unspoken pressure to stay available at all times in the office.
Yes.
But I constantly notice a large group of professionals heading outside together for what we commonly call a smoke break, cigarette break, or 담배 time here in Korea.
Is that what we're talking about today?
Yeah. And it made me think, when people leave for a smoke break multiple times a day, it's rarely questioned or judged in the same way. It's just accepted as a normal workplace routine. So today I wanted to discuss the fascinating psychology behind this contrast, which we can call the break paradox.
I love it. The break paradox. So this this whole idea of, setting aside time, and always they congregate, don't they?
Yeah.
They move in groups.
Exactly.
And so it's like when it's that time when you see they think they're being discreet. They think they're being discreet, and so you see one stand up and another, and then they all kind of leave at the same time, right?
Same members, right?
And it is definitely relatable, and I'm sure it's a hot issue in certain offices. In the past, I think people have just viewed smoking as a personal habit, especially not all, but especially for men back in the day, decades ago, it was kind of like a given. Like everybody smoked, right?
That's right.
And then now it's become a real serious debate about specifically, I don't know, workplace equity and fairness. And by the way, if you're smoking a real cigarette, the smell when you come back in, it's something that, we can't ignore because you definitely smell it, right?
And to be clear, our goal today isn't to criticize smokers at all. Modern workplaces are incredibly high-pressure environments, and everyone absolutely deserves a chance to step away and catch their breath, for sure. This isn't about blaming individuals. It's about examining how workplace design and cultural norms affect overall employee morale and fairness regarding actual labor hours.
Okay, so this is a real thing because from a non-smoker's perspective, it can feel like an unfair double standard. I'm already seeing a couple messages saying, yeah, it's unfair. For non-smokers, it may seem unfair because, I don't know, smoking is often treated as kind of an uncontrollable physical need.
Yeah.
And so do managers, do they have to be more lenient about time spent away from a desk? I think people might ask. Right?
That's a question, right?
Right. And then a non-smoker who just needs maybe a mental reset often feels I don't know, just guilty just leaving their desk even for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know, do we? Do you feel guilty?
Sometimes. You've pointed out a very critical point. And there is another layer to this phenomenon.
Yes.
The smoke break or cigarette break isn't just about nicotine. It functions as a casual space for informal socializing.
And this is one thing a person, Layla, I want to read this because Layla says 15분을 덜 일하고 농땡이 부리는 것보다는 냄새가 더 싫어요.
Oh, yeah.
This is her opinion, of course. 특히 오늘처럼 비 오거나 겨울에는, in her opinion, once again, 최악이라고 합니다. So this is just to give you a perspective from a non-smoker's a viewpoint that there might be more than just you taking 15 minutes for your ciggy break, right?
And some people use really strong perfume to
cover it.
Yeah, cover it, and it makes it worse.
Yeah, because you're mixing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. Is it like a quick hangout zone?
Yeah, exactly.
Is this where coworkers bond?
Things happen there.
Yeah,
The
apparently.
smoking area is unique because corporate hierarchy often melts away there. You have junior employees chatting informally with team leaders. They just share casual office gossip, quick personal updates, or light banter during those 10 to 15 minutes.
But what if you're a non-smoker and you want to be involved in that, that light banter? Do you go down with them or up to the roof or wherever it is that you're supposed to smoke? 같이 가요? And just inhale the secondhand smoke? Or
That's a
I don't know.
good point.
I don't know.
You stay at your desk and you feel like you're missing out on that spontaneous team bonding,
Right.
It's not that they are making important business decisions outside, but it still creates a subtle sense of exclusion for those who don't smoke.
Yes. And so tell us more about why these unspoken rules in office culture hold so much power over our psychological well-being at work.
It's because the smoking zone naturally creates an exclusive social channel. Unlike a formal office space, it's a completely unmonitored environment.
Right.
Where people just vent or talk freely. In many corporate cultures, because one group naturally spends significantly more time away from their desks just chatting,
Yes.
it accidentally creates a visible gap in daily team coordination.
Right, because, while you're sitting at your desk working, other people might be outside having a relaxed, casual conversation without you.
Unfair, right?
It seems unfair.
And that's what makes it so frustrating for non-smokers. It's not that they want to join the smoking circle, but they feel stuck in an unfair layout. If they leave their desk for a quick break to grab a coffee.
Sure.
They worry about looking unproductive. How many times can I go? Has it been like 10 minutes, 15 minutes? But if they stay, they are stuck in a stressful loop while others are out relaxing for a longer time.
People are really resonating with this topic. Dr. Liu, our Dr. Liu, he says, FYI, for your information, smoking is one of the common causes of ED. ED stands for erectile dysfunction. That's a medical term, so that's what he says. And Layla's saying, 끼고 싶으면 비눗방울이라도 들고 가야 되냐. I've actually seen memes on this on the internet about people blowing. They look like ciggies, but they're blowing bubbles because they feel like they want to be included.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. So definitely I can see why the frustration runs deep, shifts the issue from a matter of who gets more updates to a matter of equal right to rest, and feels like, I don't know, this unwritten administrative privilege.
Yeah.
Kind of accidentally maybe favoring one group over another.
It can be that way, yeah. It's an administrative blind spot.
Okay.
And this really forces corporate leaders to re-examine how they define productivity.
Yes.
Does productivity mean the exact number of hours your chair is occupied? Or is it about the actual results and value you deliver? If a company is strictly focused on output, it shouldn't matter how many breaks you take. But since most office jobs require constant collaboration, you're not working alone, right? The time spent at your desk still heavily influences how coworkers perceive your dedication. If you're never available, they would think, they would be wondering what you're doing, right?
What are you doing? Are you working? Right. So it does seem like it might be, a task to balance, to maintain this. Have you seen any creative or progressive solutions from companies globally that might address this kind of equity issue?
Oh, yeah, I have some interesting ones. There are some fascinating international examples that don't involve punishing anyone.
Okay.
This is a good thing, yeah. For instance, a marketing company in Japan realized that the total time smokers spend on breaks added up to about 6 days of work per year.
An entire 6 days. That's over a work week.
That's quite a lot, right?
Okay.
So instead of banning smoking or creating strict rules, they introduced a brilliant policy where non-smokers receive 6 extra days of paid leave per year.
Interesting.
Isn't it great?
I like that approach because it's not punitive. You're not punishing one person over another. They based it on facts. They looked into the numbers. They say it's about 6 days. So, the non-smoker gets 6 days.
Of course, not everybody's going to be happy because some may be saying, okay, I only take 2 cigarette breaks a day. Yeah, or for 5 minutes. But yeah,
Interesting.
You cannot satisfy everyone. Right?
Okay, anything else?
Oh, yeah. Another approach we see in parts of Europe is the concept of a universal refresh break. The company officially mandates that every single employee is entitled to 2 15-minute slots a day to completely disconnect from work. Whether they choose to drink coffee, stretch, take a nap, or just walk around the block, it doesn't really matter. It universalizes the right to reset so that no one has to feel guilty or left out.
Oh, I think this one feels much more sustainable, I think, for everyone. Because, like, you know, the whole idea of everybody needs a mental break.
Yeah,
everybody.
Right.
And what you do during that break,
even
let's
if
not
you're
judge.
doing like nothing.
Yes,
yes. Just switching
그냥 멍
off.
때리기.
Yeah, 멍 때리기. Yeah, precisely.
Yes,
So
yes.
human recovery is all about like preventative care. If we don't allow ourselves to rest properly, our creativity and productivity drops significantly anyway.
Right.
So my ultimate advice for managers is to create transparent team agreements around availability so that breaks don't disrupt the workflow.
Right. We don't want anything to disrupt the workflow. So, what would your advice be for people who are listening today, whether you are a smoker or a non-smoker?
A non-smoker.
Yes.
Well, don't hesitate to claim your own right to reset. If your coworkers are taking a smoke break, cigarette break, feel free to take your own hydration break or stretching break
I like that.
or a quick walk. Don't let corporate guilt stop you from protecting your mental health.
Okay, I like that. I need a hydration break.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, or maybe you need to dehydrate. Go visit the restroom as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Sometimes it's not even about the activity itself. It's just about having like a quick, like, I don't know, like spontaneous chat to break up a stressful day and to clear your mind.
So true. We need that, right?
Yes. So these guilt-free breaks, I think they can be a wonderful way to reset, but we just have to remember to be mindful.
Yeah.
And of course, we want to be productive. We are getting paid to work. So.
Yeah, that's
yes?
right. And not all smokers take such long breaks, like 5 times a day.
That's true. That's true. And we don't want to pigeonhole any of the smokers out there. This is not to make you feel guilty, but it is also about equity, about you know, some people who smoke and some people who do not.
We just need to be more considerate.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for giving us, you know, conventional wisdom, and insight as well, and food for thought in terms of this whole idea of like smoke breaks, right? Yes. I know it's not often talked about, but I'm glad we discussed it
But
today.
I would never want to take up smoking just to be part of the group.
True, true. All right. Well, we're going to call it a wrap for today. So thank you so much for coming in and joining us. Wishing you a safe Wednesday. We'll check in with you next week. Bye,
See
Jennifer.
you next week. Bye-bye.
All right. So we have more coming up in hour number 2, but we're going to end it on this note. A song request from 고수, 우산 by Epic High. Enjoy. I'll be back at 8.
참았던 눈물이 내 눈가에 고이고
텅 빈 방의 시계 소리 지금과 입 맞추는 비의 소리 오랜만에 입은 콧주머니 속에 반지 손틈새 스며드는 메모리 며칠 만에 나서 보는 밤의 서울 고인 빗물은 작은 거울 그 속에 난 비틀거리며 아프리카 그대 없이 난 한쪽 다리가 짧은 의자 둘이서 생긴 작았던 우산 차가운 세상에 섬 같았던 우산 이제 너무 크고 어색해 그대 곁에 늘 젖어있던 왼쪽 어깨 기억의 무게에 고개 숙여보니 벌어진 듯 부러진 내 신발끈 허나 곁엔 오직 비와 바람 잠시라도 우산을 들어줄 사람 And I cry
어느새 빗물이 내 발목에 고이고 참았던 눈물이 내 눈가에 고이고 I cry 그대는 내 머리 위에 우산 어깨 위에 차가운 비 내리는 밤 내 곁에 그대가 습관이 돼버린 나 그대 없이는 안 돼요 Alone
in the rain, rain, rain Nothing but pain, pain, pain Girl, I just want you to know Alone in the rain, rain, rain Nothing but pain, pain, pain And I just can't let you go
하늘에 눈물이 고인 땅 별을 감춘 구름에 보인 달 골목길 홀로 외로운 구두 소리 메아리에 돌아보며 가슴 졸인 맘 나를 꼭 닮은 그림자 서로가 서로 볼 수 없었던 우리가 이제야 둘인가 대답을 그리다 머릿속 그림과 대답을 흐린다 내 눈에 너무 컸던 우산 날 울린 세상을 향해 적던 우산 영원의 약속에 활짝 폈던 우산 이제는 찢겨진 우산 나의 두 맘 돌아봐도 이젠 없겠죠 두 손을 주머니 속 깊게 넣겠죠 이리저리 자유롭게 걸었죠 두 번의 가랑비도 쉽게 적겠죠
어느새 빗물이 내 발목에 고이고 참았던 눈물이 내 눈가에 고이고 그대는 내 머리 위에 우산 어깨 위에 차가운 비 내리는 밤 내 곁에 그대가 습관이 돼버린 나 그대 없이는 안 돼요
난 열어놨어 내 맘의 문을 그댄 내 머리 위에 우산 그대의 그림자는 나의 그늘 그댄 내 머리 위에 우산 난 열어놨어 내 맘의 문을 그댄 내 머리 위에 우산 그대의 그림자는 나의 그늘 그댄 내 머리 위에 우산
말을 가장 많이 하셨어요.
서툴게 차린 밥상으로 동생들의 식사를 챙겨보지만 넉넉지 않은 형편에 달걀 프라이 하나도 나눠 먹는 동생들을 보며 미안한 마음만 커집니다. 성민이와 동생들의 건강한 내일을 위해 여러분의 마음을 전해주세요. 후원 문의 1544-9599 굿네이버스.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준 있습니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Welcome to Busan. Let me show you around. Here you can find the world's largest musical in-ground fountain and the world's only UN memorial cemetery. Stroll along the coast and explore the largest mountain fortress in Korea. As well as all this, there are so many tourist attractions, beautiful exhibitions, vibrant culture, convenient facilities, and delicious foods unique to Busan. With all the beauty and charm of the amazing city of Busan, you'll find yourself right at home in this ever-changing tourism paradise. So stay with us a while. Busan, your #1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어 방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back. This is 8 o'clock Spotlight News. 3 dead, 3 others injured in overpass collapse. The Seosomun overpass in western Seoul collapsed yesterday while undergoing removal, killing 3 and injuring 3 others, according to officials. President Lee Jae-myung ordered a thorough investigation into the cause of the accident and instructed officials to devise measures to prevent a recurrence, according to the presidential office. The Korea Railway Corporation, or KORAIL, has canceled the parts of its trains, including the Seoul to Hangshin station portion of the KTX, adding that repairs will take some time. Government presents blueprint for nuclear-powered submarine. South Korea announced plans for the Changbogo-N project to develop domestically built nuclear-powered attack submarines filled by low-enriched uranium and plans to launch the first vessel in the mid-2030s. Defense Minister An Yu-baek announced the plans yesterday in Changwon, presenting the roadmap as Seoul moves to accelerate its push for the project after gaining U.S. consent last October. An said that these submarines are expected to play a key role in responding to North Korea's nuclear and missile threats while using low-enriched uranium of up to 20% for fuel. North Korea fires missiles and artillery rockets toward Yellow Sea. North Korea announced that it test-fired tactical ballistic missiles, multiple rocket launchers, and cruise missiles yesterday, as leader Kim Jong-un oversaw the test and expressed great satisfaction. The launch appeared to be a rare mix of such weapons and was part of the country's ongoing plan to modernize the weapons system, according to North Korean state media. The latest launch marked the 8th ballistic missile firing by Pyongyang so far this year and comes amid speculation that Chinese President Xi Jinping may visit North Korea soon. Kospi ends the day above 8,000 points for first time. South Korean stocks pulled off a new record high, having gained 2.55% to close at a record 8,047.51 points, marking the first time the benchmark index closed above the 8,000-point level. The rally, which was the third winning streak in a row, was driven by optimism for a possible U.S.-Iran peace agreement that would open the Strait of Hormuz. Market leaders, Samsung Electronics rose 2.22% to 299,000 won, and SK Hynix jumped 5.72% to a record 2.05 million won. Trump to convene cabinet at Camp David as both sides mull ceasefire. President Donald Trump and his entire cabinet will meet at Camp David on Wednesday local time after new U.S. strikes in Iran raised concerns about an anticipated peace deal. The presidential property has historically been the site of some significant U.S. policy decisions, with the current war in the Middle East widely expected to be the main topic of discussion. Tensions are rising between the U.S. and Iran as Tehran says that the strikes, which the U.S. said were defensive in nature, were a violation of the ceasefire. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for your special interview on this Wednesday morning. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, is facing growing uncertainty about its future, especially when it comes to the role of the United States. In recent weeks, Washington has announced plans to withdraw around 5,000 troops from Germany. It has also changed course on deployments to Poland in recent days, canceling one plan before proposing another. And these shifting decisions have left allies unsure about what the long-term U.S. military presence in Europe would look like. So today, we want to get a better understanding of what this could mean for NATO and European security. Joining us is Dr. Joshua Schifrinson, Associate Professor with the University of Maryland's School of Public Policy and Director of the UMD Foreign Policy, Strategy, and Statecraft Program. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so if you could briefly explain what NATO is and what it does and how the United States has traditionally been involved in the alliance?
Sure, happy to do so. So NATO, as you mentioned, stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO was founded in the late 1940s in the aftermath of the Second World War, when it looked like the Soviet Union might just be inclined to try to conquer all of Western Europe. And so to stop the Soviet Union from conquering Western Europe, the United States, Britain, and France and others concluded that they needed to check the Soviet Union. And to do that, they needed to help rearm what was then West Germany, half of about 2/3 of the former Germany. But to keep the Germans in check, of course, the British, the French, the Dutch, who had been under the Nazi yoke, wanted to keep the Americans involved in Europe. And so NATO was designed to keep the Soviets out, the Germans down, and the Americans in. And that was kind of what it did during the entirety of the Cold War. It helped to orchestrate Western European power to balance the Soviet Union and to prevent the Soviet Union from ever concluding it could aggress against Europe while also preventing Germany from ever trying to run renegade ever again. And that's what it did during the Cold War.
Yes, thanks for explaining. So how would you describe the role of the U.S.? How significant of a role has it played thus far in NATO?
Right. So the U.S. has been more or less the alliance leader, and leadership has meant various things to the United States. Back in the day, it really meant helping to get the Europeans to cooperate with one another. Later on, it really meant providing most of the military power that was needed to balance the Soviet Union. And then after the Cold War, it meant leading the alliance into an expansion into Central and Eastern Europe. NATO today is not the NATO of the 1940s. And so it's taken on this role trying to provide the majority of military power upon the continent, and in doing so also encourage the allies in many cases to become a little military dependent upon the United States, but also giving them the bandwidth, the latitude to invest in their economies at home. So it was the leader of the alliance in a number of different ways.
Yes, indeed. And recently, though, if we fast forward to recent times, the U.S. announced plans to withdraw around 5,000 troops from Germany, and then maybe shift its deployment plans into Poland. So, if you could walk us through exactly what's been decided thus far and why this is significant.
Sure. So there's actually a lot we don't know thus far, but from what we can tell from the outside. The Trump administration announced that about 5,000 troops, that's about one brigade, would be withdrawn from Germany. And in parallel to that, the Trump administration first announced that it was not going to redeploy or deploy some American forces to Poland before shifting course and announcing that, in fact, 5,000 troops would end up going to Poland. So overall, the number of U.S. troops in Europe is staying the same, even though some are leaving Germany. Now, you asked about why this matters. The number of troops themselves don't really matter, right? Russia today is not going to invade Germany. Just look at a map. But what it does is it raises concerns in the minds of allied leaders and allied publics that the United States, which has been threatening to focus on the Indo-Pacific for a number of years now, might just be inclined to reorient its time and attention elsewhere.
I see. That does make sense now. And when we talk about the U.S. Maybe scaling back key military support assets for NATO itself, we're talking about bombers or maybe aircraft, naval forces. Would that be a significant a ding against the alliance? Would this mean a major change for NATO itself?
Well, so the forces that the U.S. would promise to contribute to the alliance are themselves not very meaningful because, after all, if a crisis were to break out, the U.S. would be called upon to act, and it would deploy the forces that it might need to act. the bigger problem that you're alluding to is that, again, by saying we, the United States, are not going to contribute as much to the alliance or promise as much to the alliance,
Yes.
it makes the promise of an American shift of attention to the Indo-Pacific, to at home, to the Western Hemisphere, it looks all the more credible. It puts meat on the bones of the American threat.
Yes, yes. And if the U.S. were to step back, as President Trump has said straight out many a times, can European allies realistically take on more responsibility for their own defense?
Well, so not immediately. There would be a period of time where the European allies would need to build out important military capabilities, things like tank battalions, divisions, but also intelligence assets, satellites, high-end reconnaissance software platforms. It would take some time to get there, but in about 5 to 10 years, you could probably get a very effective European force, but it would take some time to get there.
I see. And if we talk about the U.S. relations with Europe right now, and of course, we are focusing on NATO, how do you think that relationship has changed over the years, especially in recent times with U.S. President Donald Trump at the helm of the U.S.?
Well, with the first Trump administration, let me back up. Prior to the first Trump administration, the European allies, the members of NATO, were more or less convinced that the U.S. would always be there for them.
Yes.
And indeed, Washington gave no indication that it would. President Obama was very vocal on this issue, for example.
Right.
Then the first Trump administration came in, and obviously there were all sorts of threats by President Trump, statements by President Trump that would denigrate the alliance, and that raised the concern that the U.S. might be leaving Europe. But then you had the election of Biden, who very vocally promised that this was a sacred commitment, a sacred alliance.
Okay.
So for many allies, it seemed like the U.S. was back in business. That Trump was just Trump was just the apparition. He was the curveball.
Okay.
But then of course we have Trump too, and now the allies are wondering legitimately, is this really the direction of American policy? And if Trump was elected twice, what does it mean about what the American voters will support? And so they're taking the threat of an American drawdown and an American shift of attention much more seriously this time. And I think the U.S. role is going to diminish as a result.
I see. And so on that note, what do you think the U.S. is trying to achieve with these troop reductions, for example, shifting deployments, especially as it shifts more attention toward China and the Indo-Pacific?
So I think it's trying to do two things. I think on the one hand, it's trying to scare, and I do use that term, scare the NATO allies into taking the hard steps to build up their military capabilities. I mentioned a little while ago that the allies for a long time were encouraged to be dependent upon the United States. By threatening withdrawal, the U.S. is encouraging the allies to step up on the conventional side. But that takes me to the second piece of the equation. I don't think that the United States wants to see Europe go by the wayside. It doesn't want to see NATO disappear. Undersecretary of Defense Bridge Colby, for example, has promoted this idea of NATO 3.0, where the European allies would provide the conventional military capabilities, but the United States would still provide the nuclear umbrella.
I see.
And so I think these withdrawals are really intended to try to push the allies and push the alliance in that direction.
I see. And is there anything else that we should be keeping an eye on in the near future, as it does seem that NATO is shifting, at least with President Trump at the helm once again? Anything we should keep an eye on for?
Well, sure. No, it's a good question. I think we should be watching how the allies respond, not so much to the war in Ukraine. We know how that response has gone.
Right.
But how they respond to the aftermath of the war in Ukraine. Are they going to continue investing in their military capabilities? Is there going to be a divide within the European allies between those in Western Europe who aren't as afraid of Russia and those in the Baltic states, Poland, and other Eastern European states who are more concerned? So I think we should watch for those intra-European tensions and wonder, are those tensions going to be resolved if and as the U.S. focuses elsewhere in the world?
I see. Well, thank you so much for your expertise, sharing your opinions with our listeners and viewers today. Wishing you the very best. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Take care now.
And once again, this was Dr. Joshua Schiffrinson as we talked about NATO at a crossroads, at a turning point. We're going to have to watch and see what develops. This was your special interview. I'll be back in just a moment. let's get to your traffic updates. First up, Panjunglo has been reopened, coming into the city right past the Munhyun ramp after the accident cleared. However, there is still backup all the way to the Wondong ramp. Avoid this area if possible. A different accident has occurred on Panjunglo from Wondong to Kusot, that direction, right before the Haedong intersection. And there's backup on Geodae-daero from Hamajong intersection to Songgong 3-way intersection. It's also looking slow on Namhae Expressway from Namsanjeong Station to Deokjeon Ramp. Currently, it's 20 degrees Celsius here in Busan. It's raining and it's going to go up to 22. The rain is forecast to stop by this evening. Across the nation, though, it is raining on and off this morning, with the southern coast in Jeju having seen heavy rain overnight. Let's be careful out there on slippery roads. And of course, please be aware of the risks of landslides as well. This was your traffic and weather. And this is Miss Korea by Ihori.
유리 거울 속 저 예쁜 아가씨 무슨 일 있나요? 지쳐 보여요. 많은 이름에 힘이 드나요? 불안한 미래에 자신 없나요? 자고 나면 사라지는 그깟 신기루에 매달려 더 이상 울고 싶진 않아. Because I'm a Miss Korea. 세상에서 제일 가는 거리야. 누구나 한 번에 반할 일이야. Because I'm a Miss Korea. Because I'm a Miss Korea. 세상에서 제일 멋진 거리야. 누구나 알면은 놀랄 일이야. Because I'm a Miss Korea. 명품 가방이 날 빛내주나요? 예뻐지면 그만 뭐든 할까요? Yeah. 자고 나면 사라지는 그깟 신기루에 매달려 더 이상 울고 싶진 않아. Because I'm a Miss Korea. 세상에서 제일 가는 거리야. 누구나 한 번에 반할 일이야. Because I'm a Miss Korea. Because I'm a Miss Korea. 세상에서 제일 멋진 거리야. 누구나 알면은 놀랄 일이야. Because I'm a Miss Korea. Because I'm a Miss Korea. 세상에서 제일 가는 거리야. 누구나 한 번에 반할 일이야. Because I'm a Miss Korea. Because I'm a Miss Korea. 세상에서 제일 멋진 거리야. 누구나 알면은 놀랄 일이야. Because I'm a Miss Korea. 사람들의 시선 그리 중요한가요? 망쳐가는 것들 내 잘못 같나요? 그렇지 않아요. 이리 와봐요. 다 괜찮아요. 넌 미스 코리아.
traffic is so bad. Let's see what's on the radio.
Get the latest news and current issues that you need here on Morning Wave in Busan. You're now listening to Morning Wave in Busan with me, Catherine. All right, everybody, are you ready? Are you ready for Food for Thought? Well, guess who's here? We have Haley and Leon here. Woo! For Food for Thought, where every week we have different topics that they bring in that warrant longer discussions. And it's like we just love to woggle. Yes. We love the tea time. So today, before we dive into Haley's topic, are you mad, Haley?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm so excited. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm intense.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So the warm-up to get our tongues going. Text topic time, because it's very much related to Haley's first story, and it is, what sport do you want to learn? Something new, something that you haven't done before.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm very active.
Oh, yes, you are.
We
know.
I do. I know.
Yes.
I like took some videos of myself over the weekend, and I'm like, you know, like on social media, you have people like walking, like turning around and being all pretty and like kind of like willowy and like shalala. And I did that. I thought I was doing that. I'm like, 왜 이렇게 힘이 넘쳐? I'm like, I did a turn and I'm like, bam, bam.
So energetic.
So much energy. So I need to do something like 정적인, a bit more static. Like I lift weights, I run, but I'm like, Pilates, ballet,
ballet,
yoga. It's like a little bit of
You've
grace.
never done any of those?
I mean, I incorporate stretches and Pilates adjacent moves to my workouts, but I think just to, like, that girl has a lot of energy. I'm like, just in the videos, I'm like, just the power is, I mean, I'm grateful because energy is very important, but I'm like, yeah, but like maybe ballet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something more elegant to me.
Okay. Something demure.
Something demure. Yes.
Okay, what about Leon? You're active as well.
Yes,
so.
I'm very active, and I want more action in my life, which is rock climbing is what I want to learn. It's all
I can imagine.
Yes, I want to master it indoors and then go out in the wild one day. But I like watching videos of, you know, those crazy people who like hang on a small tent like a bat and they sleep in the on the rock cliff.
Yeah.
갑자기 생각이 안 나요.
I like watching those videos.
Do you want to be that person? Okay.
You want to be the
my
bat?
hands sweat as I'm talking about those videos. But I think it's in my back of my mind. It's like maybe one day would I be able to? I need something like I guess extreme sports. I'm interested.
Okay, you guys are just like so out there.
So crazy.
Okay. Well, we're gonna dive into Haley's topic today. What do you have for us?
All right. So the funny thing is I like being active, but I'm also not a huge sports watcher.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And then every time there are major, like every 4 years, we have stuff happening globally, and I get so stressed out because I'm like, I'm gonna have to cover set stuff because it's news now. But I mean, like, do I really need to learn the rules of curling? And will this be the year I watch a full baseball game? No. So I do want to ask you, like all of you,
yes,
why do you watch sports? 왜 보세요?
I like the competition.
Oh.
I thrive on competition.
But you're not doing it.
No, but I can live vicariously through them. I can.
But don't you get stressed out if they lose? And they lose. They just keep losing. Okay.
Because it's not me.
What about you?
I watch sports only during Olympic season or the World Cup, and I do it to root my country.
So you're a patriotic. Me too. I'm a patriot.
It's more like a team pride, like Korea pride. Like we're such a small country, but we're like winning other countries. Like that. That's like a. That's what makes it so fun.
Me
my
too.
remote is like from on my cable. I won't say which cable I use, but it's like from 100에서 115. That's like all the sports channels. Like whenever I have time
I'm
off.
so thankful because I know, and I'm gonna drop the ball because whether it be the physical ball or the metaphorical one, I always drop the ball. I'm like, Catherine's gonna know what's going on. It's fine.
Really, you're a sports.
She's a huge. Right? She's a huge sports person.
I didn't know. All sports. Like, so during the basketball season, what do you call that? Super Bowl.
That's football. That's American football. That I know.
The NBA?
Did you just?
Okay. Not the worst sports person in the room. All right.
Okay.
Good to know.
Probably.
Okay, so in terms of soccer or football, we have the World Cup coming up.
Yes.
But I want to talk about a different major sporting event. One that you may not have heard of. It's called...
What is it?
The Enhanced Games.
What are we enhancing?
It sounds so futuristic.
Oh wow!
What are we enhancing?
The steroid Olympics. Ooh, yeah. So it's not. We're not encouraging you. So a quick explanation on the so-called steroids, but it's a part of these performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs.
PEDs.
So it depends. And I got asked the question: are these legal? We're going to define the two different types of legality.
Okay.
They mimic human hormones, or they change your biology to increase muscle mass or reduce fat or for you to recover faster.
Okay.
So it's not that somebody you think who's taking these performance enhancement drugs, it's not that I take it and I'm all of a sudden going to be able to scale Mount Everest. I'm not going to become literally the Hulk overnight. But compare that to two people doing the same amount of training, but the person taking performance enhancement drugs is going to be able to recover faster and get better results from the same amount of training.
Right,
I don't want to say this person's not trying hard enough, but they're going to be able to enhance their performance.
They have a leg up then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But disclaimer, health-wise, experts warn that anabolic steroids and growth hormones can cause, all sorts of issues, but most serious, cardiovascular damage. Heart attacks, strokes.
I've heard of other stuff too. Things shrinking.
Wow.
Well,
We'll just say.
Blood flow issues.
Right. No, but it's like a medical thing. It's not just in my
EDs.
mind.
Yeah,
EDs and shrinkage, right?
Yes.
So of course, doping or the use of steroids is strictly prohibited in professional sports, global competitions. That's why we have the World Anti-Doping Association, WADA, right? But this eventually,
the event, yes.
Right. So it's allowed?
Right.
I don't
so
get it.
Legally, someone who's taking steroids, that's a whole issue of where they diagnose. The medicines themselves are not illegal per se. However, no sporting authority will allow this. So the Steroid Olympics, or the official name, the Enhanced Games, took place this past Saturday, local time in
Where?
Las Vegas.
Why am I not surprised?
Okay,
Right.
yes.
So fitting.
Yes.
Inaugural. So very first competition. They had dozens of elite athletes using these enhancement drugs. They were trying to break the world record in categories like track, weightlifting, and swimming. And some of them were Olympic medalists, 42 athletes, and they used testosterone, human growth hormones. But I do want to say some did compete clean.
Okay.
Wow. Those who compete clean are I can fight.
Right,
over
it's
these
bring it
drug
on.
use.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. But I have to say the first question that pops up in my mind is, why? Why would you want to do this?
Right. So, okay, let's go through kind of a theoretical reason, the principal reason.
Yes.
They're saying the enhanced drugs, enhanced whatevers, are being honest and transparent.
Right.
Really.
Okay.
And that they're trying to push the boundaries of human limits. Because the enhanced games are defining themselves as a new global sport that breaks human limits. They're rewarding athletic excellence, scientific innovation. It's all about marketing and challenging the human potential. And the company called Enhanced, they are behind the games. They are trying to bring out into the open that what not everybody, but what a lot of people are doing anyways in sporting world, saying that, this kind of hush-hush nature, taking these drugs in the shadows actually can lead to more damages.
Yes, indeed. And so, I don't know though, when we think of sports though, what image do we have? We usually think of clean sports.
Fairness,
yes. Equity, and, level playing field is what I come up with. So,
speaking of equity,
yes,
the other type of equity,
yes.
Money, the ka-ching. Of course. So I started with the honesty and transparency, but I'm going to assume that money plays a huge role. For the athletes, $25 million total in prize money. The pool that was 37.5 billion won.
Okay.
So every winner of an event got $250,000. So $250,000. But if you manage to break the world record, you got a $1 million bonus.
That is a nice bonus.
That is a huge bonus.
Yeah. So, we need to hear more about this event because, who came up with the idea?
Right. So the project was founded by entrepreneurs Aaron D'Souza and Maximilian Martin in 2023. But we have big money involved, including billionaire Peter Thiel. And Donald Trump Jr.
Oh.
Yes, so
really
again, big money. So again, they're saying that the current war in sports against doping, it's actually had adverse effects on the athlete's health, that it's better to allow performance-enhancing drugs under controlled measures.
How do you control though?
Well, that's where kind of the ulterior motive comes in, because that's what they're offering.
Oh, really?
Hey, you see how these athletes are breaking world records and being amazing on enhancement drugs? You too can do it by following our set program.
Which costs
something
amount of
for
money.
a very small payment of however many dollars per month.
Hear. Ka-ching, ka-ching,
Oh,
ka-ching.
it's a 구독 system.
So one corporate sponsor of the games, they release customized supplements.
Wow.
And others saying
I'm hearing
that,
a lot of money.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, Enhanced Group, they're going to be trading on the New York Stock Exchange, so they have an IPO coming up. So, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in terms of like an unveiling event, this is a huge one. So I'm going to quote, because I think this puts it very well.
Okay.
The Australian Broadcasting Company, they called this as a no-expense-spared advertising festival to promote a brand whose goal is to sell performance-enhancing drugs to wannabe biohackers.
Not our words.
According to the Australian ABC.
Yes.
Wow, it like really sums it up in their own way. But
So succinct.
That's why I was like
So
copied and pasted it. 'Cause
Yes.
I can't put it better.
Yes. So you said that the games already took place. So we want to hear about the results. Who won?
It was poor. It was poor for the performance enhancers. So yay for humanity and the actual natural feat, right?
Okay.
So one world record was broken in swimming, but of course no sporting authority is going to recognize that, so it's unofficial. So Christian Golomeev of Greece won the men's 50-meter freestyle in 20.81 seconds, breaking the previous record by 0.07 seconds. So he also it wasn't only the drugs, but he wore a full body swimsuit, like a super suit, and that's been banned in international competitions. So I'm just saying, and of course, like being able to swim 50 meters in 20 seconds is an amazing feat, but I'm like, you're on drugs and you wore a super suit. Like, really?
But did he get the bonus of $1 million?
Well, he did. So it's going to really help with his family, he said. And then the athlete is happy. Others failed, including Thor Bjornsson. He is the 6 feet 7 inches tall Icelandic strongman. You might know him as the Mountain from the Game of Thrones.
Right.
Actor, but also heavy lifter. He was unable to He failed to beat his own record for when he was clean.
Even on these
Even on
drugs.
steroids.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a question though.
Sure.
So you mentioned earlier that there were some clean athletes who were not on PEDs, right? So did they win at all?
Three of them won, and they were clean. So Springer, Fred Carley, who won without drugs in the 100-meter race, said, and he was like, eat this, maybe physically too. He said, quote, man, they need to do better than that. They need to work a bit harder and get on that a little more. He was like, take more drugs because you can't beat me. Yeah. And then another athlete, Tristan Evan, also clean, won the women's 100-meter in a very modest time of 11.25 seconds. And then she said, well, this proves that winning takes more than chemistry.
Ooh, touche.
I feel like, though, if I was an athlete competing in this unofficial event where everyone else is legally doping, right? I would feel so much more competitive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I have more of the motive to show them what I got. So I think this mentality maybe happened for these clean athletes who are able to break their own records because they're like, really? So I'm going to really show you. I think that mindset probably would have helped in really helping them, really break through.
It's not just about the money. It's not just about the personal record, but principle too.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this could get a lot of people angry, right?
Oh,
Those
yeah.
who have been very honest with their, athleticism.
Because I've heard some professional athletes and elite athletes won't even take acetaminophen or cold medication because they're afraid of something showing up just on their randomized drug test. So I'm like, if they can't pop a pill for a headache,
I mean, I remember when my son was in elite basketball, like we couldn't even take like 한약, like even anything. We had to make sure he was like for, during the off season, many athletes, they do the traditional, Korean
Like the
medicine,
poyak,
the poyak and all that. But, right before the season started, like you had to be clean because they test your urine. I mean, even for amateur athletes,
right?
For middle school and high school. So we're like, okay, no cold medicine, nothing. Just even as a mistake,
right?
You have to be
it's
careful.
Kind of like they have to go be sick, and then for them to watch these athletes being on these very customized enhancement drugs, insane.
So this has further concerns beyond this just one event,
right? Because this event isn't going to change the paradigm.
Yes.
But what kind of examples are we setting? Especially two things I want us to consider: social media and sports betting. So social media is a jungle already for unauthorized substances, like from my algorithm, teeth whitening. Like, what are you trying to tell me, Graham? Like weight loss, whatever, regular movements.
Sure.
And then if the big money's backing these flashy advertisements, won't some teenagers be tempted to take performance enhancement drugs?
Right.
Body dysmorphia is a huge problem with teens. So we have, of course, women mostly. They're the ones that are highly vulnerable to the other ED, eating disorders.
Yes.
But then, especially in the West, with male, this machismo looks maxing is a trend. I mean, we literally have an influencer who advertises like hammering your jawline multiple times a day to like fracture it and make it grow and be bigger. Please don't do that. That's
my gosh.
No. So teens already want teenagers want anti-aging.
I know.
I wanted to be 16 so I could drive.
They want
I
Botox.
did not. Yeah, they want Botox. They're getting Botox and skin injections.
Right.
Of course, the enhanced games, they haven't created these problems, but they're really, really making money off of it. So though, I want to ask you, because you guys are parents and waivers too.
Yes.
Where's the line between like regulation and free will? So obviously, if your middle school child wants Botox, I'm gonna assume you're gonna say no,
It's
unless
a
it's like
hard no.
a medical, like a jaw issue.
Right.
But what about 18? 엄마나 이제 성인이잖아. 19. 엄마나 이제 성인이잖아.
When you're old enough and you're earning your own money, and if you really think about it, I would always dissuade them, right? But if they're an adult, they're fully grown, and they can pay for it on their own. I mean, I can't really stop them, like physically, like saying, "Oh, you cannot go."
Right.
But like morally, I would still say, think about it. Think about it again. That's what I would do.
Yeah, probably the same. Like they're an adult. I can't tell them what to do and not with their money. But, and also, the thing about Botox, if you get it too many times anyway, you're going to look like a piece of plastic with no expression. So maybe like let them be and experience for themselves. Like if it goes too extreme, look what happens. I will warn you because, I have experiences too, but if you're still willing, go ahead.
All right.
Okay, interesting.
It's just Botox, it's nothing too, for me, the bar is not
as an adult.
As an adult,
right. All right, so it does seem that this quest for profit is maybe a little excessive in sports these days.
Right, and then I'm going to bring in sports betting, which is an even bigger market, especially in the U.S. And I know Andrews brought this up, but back in, 2018, the U.S. Supreme Court essentially allowed for sports betting to be legal. And before that, it was only, again, in Las Vegas. So there have been like insider schemes in the NBA, athletes, coaches, information being leaked, and them trying to like make certain actions.
Yes.
So here's a question for, as I wrap up my part, for us to mull over. So with sports betting, social media, it's a market. It's a capitalistic market.
Sure.
And if you think about it, like Ohtani having the biggest baseball salary in the world ever, that's also a market. But where's the line? I mean, in a way, a baseball, football, whatever player's salary is the market rewarding that person's excellence.
Yes.
However, where does fairness fall in when the market gets involved?
Good question. We're going to let our listeners, viewers, everybody think about that for a little bit. In the meantime, we're going to turn to Leon for her topic. So thank you, Haley, for all the research and the great stories. So interesting. Okay, Leon, what do you have for us today?
Well, in a different note, we're talking about robots today.
Oh.
So have you guys noticed how suddenly robots seem to be everywhere? Recently, I think it was a couple of months ago, I talked about how we're seeing how we can buy robots at like a local mart nowadays. But we're talking about robots appearing in like festivals now as well, because during recently there was this whole 연등회, which is the massive traditional Buddhist lantern festival.
Right.
There were actual humanoid robots who were dressed in Buddhist robes that joined the parade. Did you guys see pictures of that?
I did. I saw videos.
They were like bald and with the with the traditional clothes. Yes.
Right, the garb.
Right. So this was, meant to symbolize a blend of tradition and future technology. But it really feels like we're entering a new phase in terms of robots, because in Korea, especially, people are now talking about something called the physical AI. It's all over the news.
Okay.
It's all over Natubu. So it's not just ChatGPT style AI that exists on screens. These physical AIs that are AIs that we can actually see. Basically robots that we can see move, carry things, making decisions, and interact with the physical world through other robots and machines. So, before we dig in, have you guys seen any of these physical AIs?
I mean,
in real life.
I don't know if it's AI, but I've definitely seen like the serving robots. But I know. I'm like, but I'm pretty sure it's not like AI.
Yeah.
However, I think I did see in Centum somewhere, unless I was hallucinating, like a delivery robot being tested. 아이고 마이크 하나 드릴까요?
네. Like 아웃 시켰어요? PD님이 시킨 거예요? 아니에요. 그건 아니고. She's like, oh, it was me. No.
She kills me. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it was like being driven around as a test. And I'm pretty sure that's AI based. Because you got to factor in the variables.
Right.
Are you talking about a delivery,
like a delivery robot?
It
was like,
a person-looking humanoid?
It didn't look. It wasn't a humanoid. It was more of like a box that had like sensors.
Yes.
Oh,
right.
Well, I have a physical AI at home, which is a dog AI.
Yeah,
and I
you
bought
talked
for my
about
kids
it.
last Christmas. So that is my version of physical AI. But one of the biggest places we're seeing physical AI right now is in factories, actually. So recently, LG CNS, they unveiled a new robot platform called Physical Works.
Yes.
And it's basically a software designed to help robots learn tasks and then actually work together in real industrial environments. So one part of this program teaches robots how to move and learn from human actions, while another system coordinates different kinds of robots together in factories. And so this platform acts like an orchestra conductor. So you would think we need like a human on site directing this robot to do this task and this other type of robot to do this task.
Right.
But now we have another robot, another platform that does that for us, like a conductor that is taking our place to utilize different types of robots. For example, in factories, we're seeing humanoid robots. There's also the wheeled robots or just robot arms.
Yes.
So this orchestra conductor robot goes into the factory and programs all and sends directions to all these different types of robots to do their thing.
Wow.
So this is what we're seing now, how the physical AI is changing in the factory. And there was this one viral video that was posted recently, which was physical AI, this robot. They were dropping basically they were working at a factory to distribute the 택배, the delivery boxes.
Sure.
And what they were doing was I saw the video myself, and they look shockingly human because as they're sorting out the packages and turning the barcodes down so that they could move it to the next belt, a conveyor belt, they were dropping the boxes. They were making mistakes and casually picking it up again. And if they were flipping the box too quickly, so the barcode was like 360 degrees,
I see.
then they would, flip it backwards again. And I was like,
짜네.
and this is a robot that's making decisions on its own with its mistakes.
That's scary.
And the shocking thing is because it has a face, so it would look at it like this and go like this. Because we think robot, it just should do something like a robot. But
It's
like
robotic.
Robotic like, but
It's a
it was
little
like,
uncanny valley.
Right.
Like, is the face necessary?
Is it really?
I know because I know it's kind of
Like,
scary,
it looks like it
right?
has emotions, but I'm like, oh,
It's like
you don't-
iRobot.
You don't have emotions. I don't need your emotions.
Right.
Right. So this American robotics company, they live streamed this human robot working continuously with this package sorting, but this one robot did it for 200 hours straight. So it processed nearly 250,000 packages during that time.
Okay.
And a lot of the viewers who were joining in on the live stream said, you know, I think this is like we're watching history unfold because this is so surreal. And again, this was not remotely controlled by any human. It was making decisions on its own. So the company originally planned to test whether the robot could work for 8 hours continuously.
Yes.
But after it succeeded with that, they just let it run, and it ran for 200 hours straight.
200 hours.
Right.
Taking away our jobs.
Yeah.
Like literally.
And that's always a big question, though,
Right.
right? Because even when you're talking about the orchestra conductor, I'm like, there are going to be no jobs left.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, that's always the important question that pops up, right? What
Right.
about the jobs?
Yes.
Because if robots start replacing human workers, people naturally wonder what is there left for humans to do. Now, especially younger workers entering industries that may become increasingly automated. So we always hear about, you know, how these companies are hiring less and so forth. But also, there's another downside to this. Some experts are warning that physical AI could widen inequality between companies as well.
Sure.
Because, you know, these physical AI, they cost a lot. And because we are in the beginning stages of this new technology, bigger corporations have more money to adopt these systems while
Right.
smaller businesses are struggling to keep up. And also the cybersecurity issue. So
yes.
usually when we're talking about cybersecurity, we're used to talking about stolen data or, you know, hacked information, right? But physical AI is different in the fact that because they're robots that interact with real environments.
That's true.
So now experts are talking about risks involving physical harm, like factory accidents, autonomous systems failing, even cyber attacks targeting robots operating in public spaces.
Right.
So we could actually see a delivery robot which meant no harm. Somebody hacks into it and uses that robot to do something, you know,
To do
mal,
Or even just
ill will.
malfunction. It's stopping in the middle of the road. That's
Exactly.
a hazard. Yeah.
And like because of we talk about AI all the time, I hear about students who are like mid into college. They've already gotten into college and like they feel like, do I need to change my major? Because number one, people want to get into AI. However, they're taking away jobs from the students that are so super smart that want to work in AI. But they're
Right.
taking away from them as well. So it's like, where does it stop? It's not just factory workers.
Because my big question is,
right.
what job is safe from AI?
I don't know.
And nobody knows the answers to
Exactly.
that.
I feel like it's just a matter of time.
Exactly.
Yes. We're all going to be replaced.
So sad. We have to be human as possible.
Right, but the cybersecurity part, that does sound terrifying, I have to say.
Yes. But on a brighter note, there is one area where people think robots, you know, these physical AIs may actually become necessary, and that's for the elderly care.
Yes.
Especially because us as Koreans, we are facing a very super aging population, right?
Yes.
And one recent report predicted the country may need nearly 1 million additional caregivers by 2043 to maintain the current level of elderly care service.
Yes.
But the fact is that the caregiving workforce, they themselves are aging rapidly as well.
That's right.
So now the government is looking at these AI-assisted care systems like the smart homes or monitoring technologies and care robots that are being put in place at these elders' homes to take care of these elders.
Yes.
So
yes, we're gonna have to call it a wrap.
Yes,
for
I was
today.
gonna ask. I was gonna have a little bit of discussion, but we
well,
ran out of time.
We will try to
Like
make
we
more
do.
time for you next week, I promise. But thank you so much, ladies, for bringing enhanced sports. Ooh. And PDs. And then we, of course, talked about physical AI. So that's another part of AI. Thanks for bringing a lively discussion to our listeners. So thank you to Haley and Leon. And it's time to wrap up already, but I have a public service announcement that I do need to get out to you. This is a safety message from the Ministry of the Interior and Safety. As heavy rain is forecast across the nation, don't go near creeks, rivers, or anywhere with flood risks, as well as concerns for landslides or collapses. If you are underground and see water levels rising, immediately evacuate to above ground levels. Firmly fix down anything that could get blown away in the wind. If you see gutters or rain catchers that need attention, report it to the 안전신문고, the Safety E-report. And Busan, of course, has a lot of mountainous roads, so be extra careful when driving. So we're going to bid you goodbye. We're going to actually get to this song. This is I'm Not the Only One by Sam Smith. This is our final song for today. Wishing you a safe day. Bye, everybody.
For better or for worse, I can't believe you let me down, but the proof's in the way it hurts. For months on end I've had my doubts, denying every tear. I wish this would be over now, but I know that I still need you here. You say I'm crazy, 'cause you don't think I know what you've done. But when you call me baby, I know I'm not the only one. You've been so unfadable. Now sadly I know why. Your heart is unobtainable, even though God knows you kept mine.